Hey investors, welcome to the December update for my fund. Well, to be honest, the last few months have been disappointing for the fund. We've underperformed the Nasdaq, and although we've done pretty well for the year and we've beat the S&P 500 by a mile, I still think we can do better. I think going into next year, our portfolio is positioned well, and I'll talk about some of the holdings we have in the portfolio and why I think it's poised to do well in the coming year. So let's first take a look at the performance. So year to date, we have done about 32% plus. I think since we hit the high sometime in September, the portfolio has been pretty much stagnant. Some of the companies we have in the portfolio have not hit their all-time highs yet, although the Nasdaq has hit its all-time high. That's a reason that we are lagging the Nasdaq. And some other companies took a beating in November and are also not faring very well in December so far. But these are still very high quality companies, and within the span of a few months, nothing really changes to affect the fundamentals of these companies. So during a few months, they can stagnate a little, but over the long term, I still believe in these companies, and I think they will bounce back very strongly. Now let's take a look at the companies we have in the portfolio. So you can look at some of our top holdings, and these are the respective percentage allocations they hold in the portfolio. So you can see Amazon, Intuitive, Alibaba, Facebook, Google among our top holdings, along with MasterCard, Adobe, and you can see the rest of our holdings as well. Some of our companies have done very well, like PayPal. You can see that it's done over 100% since we bought it. It's done very well. Boeing has recovered a bit. It had a strong November. Autodesk is doing very well. Teladoc has not done so well, but I still think that it has a very bright future. And Baozun is still very cheap, and I still think it can go much higher. I think once the results come out for the November 11/11 festival in China, I think that will show that Baozun had very strong results, and that will probably push the stock higher. I think Alibaba has suffered because of the general negative sentiment towards Chinese companies recently, especially with the government introducing new draft anti-monopoly measures. And the same probably goes for Facebook and Google. So you can see that this is not really a China thing only. A lot of countries, especially if a company becomes very powerful, it's right for a country to implement some anti-monopolistic regulations, I believe. But it also goes to show how strong these companies are, that the government needs to intervene, and how strong their moats are. Ultimately, I think the fundamentals will still drive these companies. So while there can be some negative sentiment towards the stock, and the stock appreciation might be slower because of this negative sentiment, if they still continue to produce good results, I believe these stocks are going to rise much higher. Having said that, I have mentioned in a past video, especially in my Project 1 million update for December, that I am changing my strategy a little bit. I think I have too many mega cap companies in my portfolio, including my top holding, Amazon. So I'm looking to trim some of these mega cap holdings and look for younger companies that have as good potential as these mega caps. So I already implemented that strategy in my Project 1 million portfolio. I started buying small pieces of other promising companies. What I'll be doing for this fund is I will be increasing the funds that I have in this portfolio. That will give me more flexibility to buy companies, younger companies with a smaller allocation, so I can go much lower than perhaps the smallest allocation you see here, 1.57%. The original idea was that I wanted to invest in the best ideas, and so I didn't want to have, small allocations in companies, because that would show not much of conviction. But I think even having sometimes a small allocation towards a company can be very profitable, especially if that company is something like Tesla or Neo, and it grows, by a few hundreds of percent. That can make a big impact to the overall returns of the portfolio. So I will look out for these smaller, younger companies with strong prospects. So if you are a copier of the portfolio, you will get a notification that I've deposited funds. You don't have to do anything, because I will be closing the existing positions, and I'll be just reopening the existing positions once those funds have been deposited. And so your portfolio as a copier will be in sync with my master portfolio. So I'm still confident that a lot of these companies are going to do well, and the portfolio will have a strong showing in the coming months. And one of the reasons is that, as I mentioned, that some of the companies are still significantly off their highs. So although the triple Q is nearly at a high, 1 or 2% off its high currently, some of the companies that I own in the portfolio are not. For example, Amazon is still 11% from its high. Let's take a look at the next one, Alibaba. As I mentioned, Alibaba has had a poor showing in the last few months, and Alibaba is nearly 20% off its high. Next is Facebook, and Facebook is 10% off its high. Then we have MasterCard. MasterCard is also nearly 10% off its high. Adobe, which delivered a good set of results recently, is also nearly 10% off its high. Microsoft, it's about 8% off its high. Baozun, it's about 25% off its high. And finally, Teladoc is about 23% off its high. So you can see that many of these companies are between 10 to 25% of the all-time highs. And these are still great companies. So it's very likely, in my opinion, that they will at some point of time reach their all-time highs again. Now, it might not happen soon. It might not happen in the next few weeks or even the next few months. But I'm quite confident that they will. And so you can see that if they do, the portfolio will likely rise similar percentage of between 10 to 25%. So over time, I still think this portfolio has a lot of upside potential. So along with the combination of the new strategy and the fact that this portfolio still has quite a bit of upside to go, I'm quite optimistic about our chances in 2021. Let me know what you think about the portfolio and any other comments or opinions you have. And have a great holiday, and I'll see you next year. So if you like what you saw in this video, please give this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel if you have not, so for future updates. And if you like the general platform, the eToro platform, and you like the ability to copy good investors, I suggest you join the eToro platform. You can use my link in the description tab, and you can even get an extra $50 to start trading. So thank you for watching. I hope you took away some good points from this video. I hope you stay with us on this journey, this long-term journey, and we'll see you in the next video.